from the Daily Mail. Comedian podcaster says he's breaking free from the Trump cult after massive betrayal. I don't think Andrew Schulz was ever in a Trump cult or anything like that. But I do find the story interesting as he's more of a normie guy. He backed Trump, I believe, to a certain degree, which was huge for Trump. And I think with many, like with the comedians, normies, coming out critical of Donald Trump over the Epstein case, this is the first time I think we've truly seen something massively bad. We're in going into month 6 of Trump's second term, and this is radioactive. They say podcaster and comedian Andrew Schulz unleashed a viral rant against Trump for failing to release the list of financier and convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Schulz and his co-host Akash Singh kicked off the Flagrant podcast on Tuesday, discussing the big scandal of the week, the admin's handling of the Epstein files. They compared their own experiences dealing with critics calling them idiots and bad Americans online, and Trump's MAGA haters coming for him about his failed Epstein promises. Earlier in the week, Schulz and his crew wore tinfoil hats on their show as they criticized the president's failure to keep his promises to release the Epstein list, get out of foreign wars, and cut spending. Quote, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for. I want him to stop wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it, Schulz said. The comedian had hosted Trump on his podcast, This We Get. He then went on to say, I wanted something different. I was hoping for some sort of change, but he said, but he then defied anyone who tried to recruit them into their political camp. I just want to let you all know, right now, I'm in neither one of your effing cults. If you want me to be in your cult, you can go F all. I'm not a Dem cult. I'm not a Republican cult. I'm a free American. I'll make my own effing decisions, and I'll say whatever the F I want about whatever president is in power, Schulz said. They go to mention more. Says, you want to take no accountability for the fact you read a dead guy and a woman who couldn't speak, Schulz said, referring to Democrats. And I respect it. And we got this from Post Millennial. Only 21% of likely voters believe DOJ report on Epstein. I'm hearing it. I mean, what is anyone supposed to say? Like all of a sudden now it's trust the government because Trump's there and we're going to let the Epstein thing take a pass?
Well, that's the interesting thing, too, right? It's like MAGA for all of this time since the golden escalator has been the part of the Republican Party, or even not part of the Republican Party, just on its own, saying we don't trust the government, we don't believe anything that you say, we think that you're out to get us, and we hate you. And so now Trump is in office, it's his second term, and we've already seen a shift in his perspective, right? Like last week, he was very dismissive of the whole Epstein thing. He wanted Pam Bondi to say at the cabinet meeting that they had, yeah, it's nothing. We have nothing there. Forget it. And then today he's saying she should release everything. So I think Laura Trump was right when she was talking to Benny Johnson yesterday, and she said that he's hearing the noise on this. But yeah, I mean, this is a base that is not going to trust you just because they voted for you. That's not enough.
But I also don't take seriously. I was kind of on. I could see where he was coming from until he said, and he didn't cut spending, which to me is a constituency that doesn't exist in America.
If you look at the June numbers, if you look at the June numbers, I forget exactly what they were, but with the increase in tariffs and all this other stuff, we made a ton more money, and there were cuts.
I understand kind of the reservations around foreign policy actions, especially as it relates to Ukraine recently. But to me, this is just an America Party announcement. It's someone who's gotten a little bit frightened that, we're in the fray. You took a stand with President Trump and MAGA, and now it's getting dicey and he's cutting and running. It's easy to do, and I'm sympathetic with it. But as soon as you tell me that, oh, you're so mad because he's cutting spending and you want to, be in the middle and you're not extreme, you're just proving to me that you're not interested in being a part of a political coalition. Because
the other thing too is Andrew Schulz is low IQ. The list has been out forever. Literally, I've talked about it with Ryan Dawson. Whitney Webb has exposed it. A million people know who are on the list, but. Yeah.
But it's not the complete everything. And it's not the confirmation from the DOJ, which Trump promised.
Yeah. No, I get it. But he's like harping on the list has been out. But again, he's just saying, Schulz says whatever he needs to say to sound cool and sound like he's in it. Like he's been doing this for a very long time. He talks out his ass. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But
these are normies, bro.
He is a normie when it comes
and exactly. And why do you think he's saying what he's saying?
Because that's what's cool now. He always says what's
it's
cool.
going to play. It's going to give an audience?
Yeah.
Okay, that means Democrats are winning on the optics.
They are.
Oh, well, yeah. On this, I've said it. Yeah. CNN's been running with this for a while, saying like they literally, Tapper did like a whole series on CNN where he played all the clips of Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Trump, like all of it when they were talking about the Epstein files. Like they have like a whole collage. They're loving it. And all the big left-wing commentators are loving it too. So yeah, it looks bad politically for sure. But to say, oh, release the list is out, dude. It's like I said before, what the American public is really interested in is what I phrased before, which is we would need the intel community to step up and give it to us.
Democrats have went 4 years without making a peep about the Epstein client list. They didn't say anything when they had control of the government. This is all political opportunism. That's all that it is. No one should take anything they say seriously, but it is bad optics. And the people that your average normies, people that don't watch a lot of political, don't
every
get a lot of
left-wing
political information.
commentator, if you look at their YouTube channel right now, it's all MAGA's melting. Epstein list is making them go crazy. They're beating us up on it big time.
Yeah.
Why is the Trump administration doing it? They're doing it. I'm sorry, it's on purpose. Well, so no question. Look, real quick. There's two plays, and I've already said it a million times. They do nothing. They literally just had to do nothing. They made this story. Pam Bondi went on TV. She made this story. They could have done nothing. The other issue is lie better. So they are making their bed, doing a piss poor job of managing. And I don't mean literally they should come out and lie. I'm saying either put up or shut up. And they've flubbed this in every possible direction. And if it really is a Democrat hoax like Trump is saying, then it is his poor choices of once again, of people in his administration who are not doing this job.
You know what, Tim? I think because just from the beginning, right, from them rolling out the stupid ass binders and bringing these people in to give the flight logs and stuff like that tells me like they didn't take this seriously from the beginning. And then when they said, oh, just forget about it. Like, I don't think they understood how much the base wants to know about this. And when you got people like, Benny Johnson, who are huge, Trump supporters, coming out saying like, "Hey, we need the files," that should tell you something. So,
I think,
it's bad.
Your point is correct, especially on Benny. Andrew Schulz, I think, is the point. He's not a political guy. I don't expect.
I see what you're saying. Like the fact that he's coming out and saying it is a problem.
This is about perception and self-preservation. And I'm not saying that about to disparage Schulz as though he's panicked and like, no, I'm saying. These personalities who are not in politics, they want to be on the right side of history. Yeah. And if right now the optics are half of MAGA is saying Trump is flubbing this and all of Democrats have latched on as an attack vector, Schulz is going to be like, I'm with the bigger group.
Yeah, that's what he does.
But this is what I think they're missing. Call me Pollyannish or someone who's given too much credit to the administration. But here's my case. I think they're trying to get through the ugly fights that have to happen before the midterms, before another presidential election. The theory of the case, take it or leave it, is that you have to try and bring the Middle East and Europe to a close so that you can eventually draw down and focus on China. You need to get the big, beautiful bill passed so you get $150 billion for immigration, border control, and interior enforcement. And you move through the political capital it takes soon and fast while you still have it before you have to fight the midterms. You get over the frustration and the incompetence perhaps of the Epstein revelation because maybe there's nothing you can release. Given the relationship with the IC and what's behind closed doors.
Yeah, this is an IC problem, not an FBI problem.
Well, right. And so we're getting hard stuff out of the way so that by the time Americans are voting next November, they've seen the fruits of the labor. They're seeing that you can drive end to end in LA in less than an hour, right? Because of immigration enforcement. They're seeing revenue from tariffs hit. They're seeing jobs for Americans and not foreign-born workers that I think people will care about. It's ugly to make a lot of that happen.
In the grand scheme of things, when it comes to getting shit done, this Epstein thing is a drop in the bucket compared to getting the other stuff through that needs to be done. And then you can always revisit this later. But I also see Tim's perspective where you're right. Schulz talks to a very normie audience where if he says something like, release the client list, well, most Americans don't even know that the client list has been out forever, unless you're in this field.
It really is simple.
So optically, it looks bad.
I don't think the average person is going to know a lot about this.
No.
But at least.
Definitely not.
If I'd be willing to bet if you look at Andrew Schultz's comments, it's everybody saying like Trump Epstein cover up. And if you check out, like if you follow Asmongold, for instance, the comments are relatively similar. These are mostly normies.
Yeah.
They talk about surface level issues that affect them, but not the political machinations behind them. So if an individual is like, why am I locked in my house? They're going to complain. It's BS that they're doing this. But they're not going to go to a higher level and say, here's the long-term strategy for making America better or whatever. So Schulz, his statement is basically a reflection of he's saying this is the side that I'm on and it ain't Trump.
It gives the temperament of the general normie public, which you're right. And we talked about this, like, you know, people are not going to really know the details of this Epstein thing unless you're either in the MAGA base, you're interested in this type of stuff, and then you know, you have to, but normies are just going to be like, oh, they didn't release it. Look at that. Not knowing that, like, the client list is already out. What we're talking about is a bit more nuanced. We're talking about intel. That's why, like, I was so adamant about saying, like, look, this is not just an FBI problem. This is an entire government IC problem.
It's wild to me that I get where Charlie Kirk is coming from when he was like, I'm going to trust my friends in government. But like, that's literally the argument that was made by the intelligence officials on MSNBC when this stuff comes around the first time. It's, listen, trust us, we're the experts, we're doing the right thing. And it's like, nah, you guys tried to arrest Trump and refused to give up power. You're nuts. So I think, look, Trump could release a fake Epstein list. Like, my point is...
But that would open him up to libel charges.
I don't think it would. I mean, like, technically you're correct. I'm just saying, Trump in the seat of government, claiming there's no Epstein files, he could make a list of fake names. He could do so many things that would get them out of this flub. It's of their own making. They're bad at what they do. I'm not saying it's good and they should do that. I'm saying if they really are trying to lie and cover this up, man, are they bad at this.
Yeah, but I also see, you know, you gave a good thing on this. Like, you know, they're focused on the deportations, getting the big, beautiful bill through midterms, et cetera. Like, to them, from their position, right? Because I'm putting my government hat back on. Like, to them, they're like, okay, these are just some annoyed fucking influencers that are talking about Epstein, whatever, bro. We got real shit we got to worry about. We got to worry about, you know, Israel attacking Iran again, a potential war going on. We're talking about the big, beautiful bill. We're talking about these deportations that we're trying to do. Like, to them, they're like, we can always revisit this later, right? So I can see from that perspective, I think they grossly underestimated how important this was to the base in general.
It's definitely affecting him. I mean, the Rasmussen dailies are really bad for his approval
Pam
numbers.
Bondi gave a press conference today with the DEA, and they were just like, I was looking at it in the chat, and they were just like roasting her the whole time, saying Pam Blondie and she's stupid, blah, blah, blah. So they're feeling it now.
She did not need to bring this up on Fox. They effed this up royally.
They did, dude. And again, I think it's because they grossly underestimated how much the base cared about this. Like, with them rolling out the binder thing, when they did that, I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
That was messed up.
You know,
the binder rollout was stupid.
They really
Phase
took
one.
advantage of those people. They really did such a bad job because they took a whole bunch of people that had fought really hard during the campaign and made them look like clowns. You know? And that's just so rude. It's like, why are you turning on the people that cared so much about getting you into office that they staked their reputations on it? And now you're using their reputations to try and bolster yourself, but really you're just handing out the funny papers.
Look, I made fun of them, you know, Drano and all those guys that showed up there, but you know, you're correct. Like, a lot of them did, like, you know, kind of fall on the sword for the Trump administration and get him elected in 2024. They were pushing him hard, so obviously they got the invite to the White House. But yeah, that was a drag.
And that's not even why they were at the White House. They were at the White House for some other reason.
Yeah.
And Pam Bondi like pulled them into a room to talk about this. They were there totally separate. I think they were there to like meet the vice president or something like that.
So this kind of got pulled on a tangent.
This was like literally pulled on them. They were like, oh, now we're going over here. Okay, guys. And then they told them, the DOJ basically told them it was embargoed. And then when they stepped out of the White House and they all had these big binders and they didn't have backpacks to stuff them into, there were a bunch of reporters there waiting
taking
for like,
pictures,
and the reporters were like waiting for some like foreign dignitary. I forget who it was, but that's who they were waiting to take pictures of. Oh. And all these influencers step out with binders. And so then it's like, now we all have binders and we can't talk about it for a couple hours.
That makes it worse.
It was worse. It was worse. Yeah.
I got hit up. I was talking to a couple of people. Cernovich hit me up. He had talked about this. So I got hit up before anybody knew what was going on, and they were like, check out this letter. The story that actually mattered was that Bondi said that there were files being withheld from her by the FBI that she had requested as AG. And then I had heard that there were also some files were given out. And then somebody leaked it, breaking the embargo. So they told all these people, as you were mentioning, don't say anything. So like all these photos emerge, and then everyone's wondering why they won't come out and expose the information. When you think about what was in those binders, because like the next day, we did an event in D.C., a live IRL show. Cernovich walks up and he hands me the binder and he goes, go ahead, take a look. And then I open it up and he's like, all of that's public. He's like, there's some stuff that's not publicly available. It's not relevant or incriminating or anything interesting.
You know, it's interesting though, because I'm like, in my head, when they got the binders, right, when they're in the White House, they could have kind of saved face, like been like, well, if anyone was like an Epstein researcher, they could have been like, dude, this stuff's all out there. Like, we're going to look like clowns if we walk out there.
They ushered him right out of the room. They hand out the binders and usher everybody out.
Oh, so they didn't even get a chance to look at it?
They didn't get a chance to look at it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's bad, dude.
See, that's
bad.
Yeah,
now that I know like the full story there, that's really fucked up that they did that to them.
What is this campaign they're doing? What is this campaign that they're doing?
And Bondi has been on TV talking about Epstein for months and months and months. And now that, like, you know, she basically threw Trump in the fire or under the bus, or pick your metaphor, where is she? Like, you're not seeing her very much now at all. And she was out there running her mouth all over the place about this.
Yeah, she did a lot of appearances on Fox, man, yapping. It's just bad because, dude, this is such a black eye for the right. Like, we just got to take the L here and admit it. Like, the lefties are going nuts. They're loving it. Like, yes, look at them. They're imploding. You know, I was at the TPUSA event too. Everybody was talking about
Epstein
the files.
was the whole thing.
It was so big,
yeah,
dude.
It was
so
huge.
Was it SAS or whatever?
Yeah.
And the thing that makes it worse is like they keep showing the reels of like how Kash Patel was saying that for Chris Wray has the files, right? Bongino's like, I'm not letting this go. It's on my desk right now. Like they're playing the compilation clips. Trump, would you release the Epstein files? Yeah, I would release it. I would do it. I was like, oh God, dude, they're just beating him up right now. Because this is the biggest W the Democrats have had for a very long time because they've been getting destroyed.
Oh, dude, this is the biggest win they've had in probably 10 years?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's been a while. Certainly this administration.
I mean, you look at Hillary's defeat, Trump comes in, and then it's floundering the whole way through. That the impeachment was, I wouldn't call that a win. It's like the impeachment thing was confusing. Then you get, technically you can argue Biden was a big win from they actually got the seat of power. But quickly after that, people were upset with Biden and they were struggling with leadership. This is tremendous for them. You have normies now.
Yeah.
Once again, realigning with Democrats in their position. And with Ro Khanna's amendment saying, release this stuff, and Republicans saying no, this is possibly the worst optics Republicans have faced in a decade.
But how long is it going to last? I think that's the bet that Republicans are making.
Trump's making it worse. Trump is so, look, I'm sorry, but like, this is why my assumption is he has to be doing it on purpose for some reason.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
He's burning.
He's dealing with, you know.
I mean, if they wanted to wash this away, they could snap their fingers and wash it away.
How could they?
Every time they come out, they make it worse. From the beginning, when Pam Bondi came out and said the files are on my desk. And she was asked about the client list. And then she goes, the files are on my desk. All she had to do was do another interview. And she was like, I've gone through them. And unfortunately, the files that I do have are files that have already been released. So I went through it. There is a list of names. There's a list of individuals. They're already public. So I'm going to put in a request to the FBI and see what information we're going to dig up. And we'll pursue it to the best of our abilities.
You know where I think they fucked up? When they did the press conference with Kash and Bongino. And they said, number one, they said, he offed himself. Then they said, there's no video footage. Oh, wait, no, there is video footage. We're going to make it public.
I thought that was
when they did the Fox interview.
Let me shut it all down.
There's nothing there.
Let me shut it down for the Trump administration once again. Tell me about Epstein, what happened? And Kash can go, we don't speak about ongoing investigations.
I was going to say, dude, they shouldn't even.
End of story.
I've been saying this for months. They shouldn't even have given a statement. They should have said, here's all the stuff. I'm reserving my comment. Let the American public decide what they want to do and not say anything. But where they fucked up was they said that there's nothing there, right? He went on Joe Rogan and said all these things. Then they didn't release it. That looks bad. It would have been better to say, look, man, I'm just releasing it. No opinion. Here you go. That would have been way better.
That's why my
every step of the way here they fucked up. The binder release, it makes it worse now that I know all the facts that she mentioned before. The interviews on Fox saying like, yo, there's nothing there, blah, blah, blah. Then, forget about it, whatever. This was just such a blunder on every single level.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.